This is a serious warning. Before you fill your shopping cart at Walmart, you might want to pause and take a closer look at those shiny cans lining the shelves. Not everything that glitters is gold, and some of those seemingly convenient canned foods could turn your mealtime dreams into culinary nightmares. Imagine reaching for a can that promises to be a delightful addition to your dinner table, only to find a flavorless disappointment once you pop it open. Today, we're here to save you from that fate. Join us as we unveil 12 canned foods you should absolutely avoid at Walmart. From unappetizing textures to overwhelming sweetness, we'll uncover the hidden dangers lurking in those aisles. Stick around to ensure your pantry is stocked with only the best, and keep your meals from becoming a bland affair. Trust us, your taste buds will thank you. Number 12. Old El Paso Traditional Refried Beans. Let's dive into the sometimes murky waters of canned beans, focusing on a product you may have considered for your taco night: Old El Paso Traditional Refried Beans. At first glance, this might seem like a reliable choice. After all, it promises a blend of cooked pinto beans with a hint of chili pepper and a dash of salt. It's the sort of thing taco dreams are made of, right? Unfortunately, many customers have found these beans to be a significant letdown. The expectation for a quality refried bean is simple: a rich, creamy texture that pairs beautifully with crispy tortillas and zesty toppings. However, Old El Paso's version has garnered mixed reviews due to its frustratingly watery consistency. Imagine the scene. You've set the table for taco night, crack open a can, and are met with a soupy mess instead of the smooth, satisfying blend you envisioned. One reviewer even noted an unusual chemical aroma wafting from the can, certainly not what you want wafting through your kitchen. Instead of delivering that velvety mouthfeel that should perfectly complement your tacos, the beans end up resembling a watery dip, struggling to stand out on taco night. It's like gearing up for an exhilarating ride in a sleek sports car, only to be handed the keys to a tricycle. You're left feeling disappointed and let down. Nobody wants their taco night to fall flat, so if you're on the hunt for quality canned beans, you might want to look beyond Old El Paso. Fortunately, there are several alternatives on the market that offer a true taste of home-cooked authenticity. Brands like Amy's Organic and Rosarita have earned rave reviews for their quality and flavor. These options often prioritize ingredients and traditional cooking methods that can elevate your meals. Additionally, consider exploring dried beans that you can cook at home. Not only do they taste better, but they also allow you to control the seasonings and texture. Number 11. Great Value French-Style Green Beans. Moving on to another common canned product, we have Great Value French-Style Green Beans. These beans are often seen as a quick and easy solution, especially during busy holiday seasons, when family gatherings can create a whirlwind of cooking chaos. However, when it comes to canned vegetables, convenience does not always equate to quality. Picture this: you open the can only to be greeted by a mushy, lackluster green mass that looks like it just returned from a night out. While it's easy to dismiss appearances, in this case, the dull color speaks volumes about what's inside. Yes, these beans come with no added salt, which might sound appealing for those monitoring sodium intake, but that health-conscious choice often comes at the cost of flavor. Without any seasoning, these limp vegetables lack the zest needed to elevate your meals. To borrow a line from Kermit the Frog, let's face it, it's not easy being green, especially when these beans make it harder to enjoy your holiday spread. If you're aiming for a vibrant and delicious dining experience, it's probably best to skip Great Value's French-style green beans in favor of fresh or frozen alternatives. Frozen green beans, for instance, often maintain their flavor and texture better than canned varieties. They can be easily cooked with a touch of olive oil and garlic for a tasty side dish that will impress your guests. If fresh green beans are in season, consider steaming them lightly to preserve their crunch and bright color. Either way, your taste buds will thank you for steering clear of those uninspiring canned beans. Number 10. Great Value Pear Halves. Last but certainly not least, let's discuss Great Value Pear Halves. Pears are typically celebrated for their delicate sweetness and juicy texture, making them a delightful snack. However, when it comes to canned options, Great Value seems to miss the mark significantly. Imagine cracking open a can, expecting succulent pear halves, only to be met with a disheartening sight that resembles something more akin to raw chicken than the luscious fruit you were hoping for. This disappointing appearance raises concerns right off the bat, but it's not just the looks that are worrisome. The heavy syrup that drowns these supposed pear halves can feel more like a sugary trap than a delightful glaze. If you've ever bitten into canned pears steeped in syrup, you know the overwhelming sweetness can leave your taste buds longing for balance. Texture is also a critical aspect when it comes to enjoying fruit, and some brave souls who've dared to try Great Value pear halves describe their experience as frustratingly inconsistent. Imagine expecting a soft, juicy treat only to encounter an oddly firm texture reminiscent of apples, or worse, rock-hard pears that mock your attempts to enjoy them. It's baffling that a beloved and nutritious fruit can be reduced to such an abysmal form. Instead of subjecting yourself to the letdown of canned pears, consider visiting the fresh fruit aisle. Fresh pears offer vibrant color, juicy flesh, and a satisfying crunch that canned options simply cannot replicate. You can enjoy them sliced in salads, poached for a dessert, or even blended into smoothies for a refreshing treat. Number 9. Del Monte's Fruit Cocktail. Let's delve into the vibrant world of canned fruits, focusing on a perennial supermarket favorite: Del Monte's Fruit Cocktail in heavy syrup. At first glance, this can seem like a colorful fiesta of fruits, with cherries bursting with color, succulent pineapple slices that transport you straight to the tropics, and inviting peaches nestled among crisp grapes. For anyone who loves fruity indulgences, this combination sounds like a dream come true. However, there's a significant caveat. This delightful medley is submerged in an overly sweet syrup that can overshadow the fruit's natural flavors. Imagine the fruit swimming in an ocean of saccharine sweetness, almost as if the syrup has stolen the spotlight. While Del Monte deserves credit for steering clear of preservatives, the syrupy situation drowns out the refreshing natural flavors that fresh fruit enthusiasts crave. When you take a bite, the syrup's overwhelming sweetness makes it challenging to appreciate the true essence of the fruit. What should be a refreshing snack becomes a sticky, cloying experience that leaves many consumers underwhelmed. Walmart markets this concoction as the perfect side dish for family gatherings or the star attraction in your next fruit salad. But let's be honest, if you're looking for a genuine fruit experience, you might be better off with a homemade fruit salad or opting for fresh fruit options instead. Fresh fruits not only provide vibrant flavors and essential nutrients, but also allow you to control the sweetness and presentation. With a quick trip to your local farmer's market or grocery store, you can select the ripest, juiciest fruits to create a delicious and visually appealing salad. Next time you find yourself wandering the canned food aisle, think twice before tossing Del Monte's Fruit Cocktail into your cart. Trust us, your taste buds will thank you for it. Instead, consider exploring other canned fruit options that use fruit juice instead of syrup, or check out brands that focus on high-quality, naturally sweetened products. Your palate deserves the real taste of fresh fruit, and there are plenty of alternatives that deliver just that. Number 8. Campbell's Chunky Soup, Baked Potato with Steak and Cheese. Now let's talk about a classic that's been a staple in many pantries for generations: Campbell's Chunky Soup with Baked Potato, Steak, and Cheese. Those iconic red and white cans have graced our shelves for years, promising hearty meals in a can. However, it's time to face the reality behind this so-called classic, particularly since this flavor has drawn mixed reviews that might have you reconsidering its place on your grocery list. When you think of a meal featuring steak and baked potatoes, you envision a comforting dish, rich in flavor and wonderfully aromatic. Yet, Campbell's version often leaves much to be desired. Many consumers who appreciate the convenience of a quick meal have found themselves disappointed upon first sampling. The soup lacks the steak and potato components you would expect, with the steak resembling more of a shredded mystery meat than the tender, juicy cuts you'd hope for. Furthermore, the potatoes in this soup don't deliver the satisfying texture one would anticipate. Instead of chunks of baked potatoes, you're left with a soup that feels more like a whisper of its former self, overshadowed by a somewhat bland broth that fails to excite the palate. If we're being honest, with countless delicious soups available at your local Walmart, why settle for one that doesn't deliver on its promises? Despite its decent ratings on the shelf, the flavor, aroma, and overall satisfaction of this soup often fall short of expectations. If you're scanning the aisle for a quick meal option, you might want to skip this can and opt for something that truly delivers on the comforting dish you had in mind. Many consumers are turning to alternatives that not only offer convenience, but also prioritize flavor and quality. Brands like Amy's Kitchen and Progresso have emerged as strong competitors, providing a range of hearty soups made with wholesome ingredients. With their flavorful combinations and higher quality meat, these options may be a better fit for those who seek genuine comfort in their canned meals. Number 7. Sweet Sue chicken and dumplings. Let's explore another classic comfort food, Sweet Sue chicken and dumplings. This dish is often described as the ultimate comfort food, wrapping around you like a warm hug on a chilly evening. Imagine wandering through Walmart with your cart brimming with goodies, and suddenly spotting a vibrant blue can that practically shouts, "Pick me! I promise to bring you comfort." That's the allure of Sweet Sue chicken and dumplings, which boasts the reputation of being a family favorite. However, while a 3.7 out of 5-star rating may sound decent, a closer look at customer reviews reveals a rather disheartening truth. Many customers report feeling disappointed when their expectations of a rich, hearty meal are dashed against the reality of a lukewarm broth that leans more towards soupy than creamy. One avid home cook lamented that their experience felt akin to sipping glorified soup, rather than indulging in the thick goodness a true chicken and dumplings dish embodies. Picture this. You prepare to relish a classic comfort meal, only to be met with watery broth and bland dumplings that fail to impress. Instead of a warm, filling experience, the joy of culinary delight can quickly turn into a letdown before you even take your first bite. If you're planning to stock up on comfort foods, you might want to reconsider Sweet Sue chicken and dumplings. While the idea is fantastic, the execution often leaves you craving that homemade goodness that truly warms the soul. When searching for pantry staples that promise comfort, it's essential to choose options that live up to their reputations. Look for brands that prioritize flavor and quality over convenience. For example, Campbell's offers a variety of chunky soups that often deliver a more satisfying experience than Sweet Sue. Additionally, many home cooks are embracing the joy of preparing their own chicken and dumplings from scratch, allowing for personalized flavor adjustments and the use of high-quality ingredients. Number 6. Progresso Traditional Broccoli Cheese Soup. Remember those days as a kid when broccoli felt like the dreaded green monster on your plate? If you're anything like me, you've probably come a long way since then and can now appreciate this incredible nutritional powerhouse. Broccoli is not only packed with vitamins and minerals, but also serves as a versatile ingredient in many comforting dishes. When seeking nostalgic comfort food, many of us might initially think of a warm, creamy bowl of broccoli cheese soup. The thick, velvety texture paired with the rich, cheesy flavor conjures up images of cozy nights and simple pleasures. However, when you reach for Progresso Traditional Broccoli Cheese Soup, you might expect a slice of nostalgia only to be met with disappointment. Opening a can often leads to an unpleasant surprise, a broth that seems more water than substance. For a soup where broccoli is meant to take center stage, it's disheartening to find it barely making an appearance. Many customers have reported that the broccoli pieces are few and far between, leaving the soup lacking in both texture and flavor. Some adventurous taste testers have even likened the taste to dirty socks. Certainly not the mouth-watering description you want when you're seeking comfort food. It's important to note that a good broccoli cheese soup should have a creamy consistency, with rich, cheesy notes complementing the freshness of the broccoli. But let's not write off Progresso entirely. The brand offers a variety of soups that have received positive reviews, so it's worth exploring their lineup. For instance, Progresso's tomato basil soup and chicken noodle soup are favorites among many who appreciate the balance of flavors and hearty textures. In a world filled with canned options, it's essential to find one that resonates with your palate, even if the traditional broccoli cheese soup doesn't hit the mark. Number 5. Progresso Green Split Pea Soup with Bacon. Now, let's dive into another contender in the canned soup arena, Progresso Green Split Pea Soup with Bacon. Soup transcends mere nourishment. It's comfort served in a bowl, especially on a chilly day. Imagine wrapping yourself in a cozy blanket and ready to indulge in a bowl of creamy, hearty goodness. Unfortunately, when you reach for Progresso's version, you may find it to be less than satisfying. When you think of bacon, the expectation is a robust, smoky flavor that dances on the palate, each spoonful infused with that savory richness bacon lovers crave. However, many reviews reveal that this soup barely hints at bacon, leaving you feeling as though you're on a scavenger hunt for flavor. It's like trying to find Waldo in a sea of stripes. Instead of a well-balanced, flavorful soup, you might be left with a dish that feels one-dimensional and lacking in character. The consensus among consumers is clear. Many are disappointed by the lack of bacon flavor in this soup. If you're truly yearning for a bacon-laden split pea experience, it might be better to take the plunge and make it homemade. A homemade version allows you to control the ingredients and ensure that the smoky flavor truly shines through. Picture a pot simmering on your stove, filled with fresh peas, vegetables, and ample crispy bacon. This not only guarantees a rich, satisfying soup, but also infuses your kitchen with a warm and inviting aroma. While Progresso's green split pea soup might be a convenient option for those short on time, it's often left on the shelf for a reason. Homemade soup offers a world of flavor that pre-packaged options often lack. So, the next time you crave a comforting bowl of split pea soup, consider rolling up your sleeves and whipping up a batch in your kitchen. Number 4. Libby's 100% Pure Canned Pumpkin. Moving on to our next entry, Libby's 100% Pure Canned Pumpkin. When fall arrives, the thought of rich, creamy pumpkin pie can be irresistible, whether it's a crisp autumn evening or a whimsical summer barbecue. This seasonal delight has a way of creeping into our hearts and taste buds, but before tossing that can into your cart, let's take a closer look at what Libby has to offer. At first glance, Libby's 100% Pure Canned Pumpkin seems like a no-brainer choice for health-conscious shoppers. The label boasts being all natural, which sounds great, but the reality might not live up to the hype. With a modest score of 3.29 on Walmart's website, this product appears to be an acceptable option at best. The reviews tell a different story. Many customers have expressed their disappointment over the texture of the canned pumpkin. Imagine biting into a slice of pumpkin pie that's supposed to be smooth, velvety, and rich, only to discover a gritty filling that would make you rethink your dessert choice. Over 100 customers have voiced grievances regarding this grittiness, making it clear that this is not the ideal texture when preparing to create sweet, nostalgic memories during the holidays. After all, Thanksgiving is about family gatherings and unforgettable moments, and no one wants to remember a holiday pie with a texture reminiscent of gravel. Interestingly, the quality of canned pumpkin can vary by brand and season. Some brands, such as Farmer's Market Organic Pumpkin, have gained praise for their smooth texture and robust flavor, making them a worthy alternative to Libby's. Opting for these alternatives can elevate your culinary creations, ensuring your pies and other pumpkin-based dishes are memorable for the right reasons. While Libby's may have its fans, it's essential to consider these reviews before making a purchase. If you're planning on baking a pie for Thanksgiving or any other festive occasion, your dessert deserves better than a gritty filling. With so many options available, don't hesitate to explore the wide array of canned pumpkin products on the market to find one that meets your expectations and contributes to delightful holiday memories. Number 3. Progresso Light Beef Pot Roast Soup. When the weather turns chilly, nothing quite satisfies like a hearty pot roast. Progresso Light Beef Pot Roast Soup aims to deliver that familiar, comforting taste in a convenient can. Upon first glance, you might be drawn in by the promise of a savory, beefy broth that recalls the warm embrace of a homemade meal. However, the reality may fall short of those expectations. The primary selling point of this soup is its lighter profile, catering to those who want a comforting dish without the heavy calories typically associated with traditional pot roast. But herein lies the challenge. Many reviewers have criticized the product for lacking the depth and richness that one expects from a pot roast. Instead of the hearty flavor that should envelop your taste buds, you may find yourself confronted with a thin, watery broth that feels more like a shadow of the beloved classic. One of the key elements that make a pot roast memorable is its robust flavor, usually derived from a combination of tender meat, aromatic vegetables, and a well-seasoned broth. Progresso's attempt to create a lighter version results in a significant reduction of these flavors. Instead of being enveloped in a rich, savory experience, you might feel as though you're drinking a diluted version of pot roast. Many fans of this dish report feeling cheated when they open the can, only to discover an underwhelming concoction that lacks the satisfying elements of a proper pot roast. Number 2. Denny Moore Beef Stew. As temperatures drop and comfort food becomes a priority, Denny Moore Beef Stew often comes to mind as a classic choice for a warm meal. This product is designed to be the ultimate in cozy, satisfying stews. But does it deliver? When you take a closer look, the answer may not be as straightforward. Denny Moore has been a staple for many looking for an easy meal solution. However, when you examine the ingredient list and the taste profile, several flaws become apparent. The first red flag is the high sodium content. A single serving can pack an overwhelming amount of salt, which can lead to an immediate thirst after just a few spoonfuls. While salt can enhance flavor, in this case, it tends to dominate, drowning out the more subtle flavors that should shine through in a well-balanced beef stew. Moreover, let's discuss the beef, or more accurately, the lack thereof. Reviewers have expressed that finding pieces of beef in this stew feels more like a scavenger hunt. The beef is often sparse, leaving you searching for substance in a dish that should be hearty and fulfilling. Instead of chunky, tender pieces of meat, many find that the stew is filled with a gelatinous broth and an abundance of carrots and potatoes, with the beef content barely noticeable. This has led to some rather unflattering comparisons, with some reviewers even likening the taste to that of pet food, which is far from the cozy meal one hopes for. Homemade beef stew is an entirely different experience. When made from scratch, you have control over the ingredients and can adjust seasonings to your liking. You can use high-quality cuts of beef, fresh vegetables, and aromatic herbs to create a stew that warms you from the inside out. Imagine the rich aroma filling your kitchen as the stew simmers away, blending flavors and producing a dish that truly satisfies. If you're after comfort and quality, rolling up your sleeves and preparing your own beef stew may be the way to go. Number 1. Great Value Chili with Beans. Great Value is synonymous with budget-friendly shopping at Walmart, and their chili with beans is no exception. However, while saving money is always appealing, the experience of this chili might leave you reconsidering your choices. When you pop open a can of Great Value chili, the anticipation of a flavorful blend of spices, beans, and beef is palpable. Unfortunately, many consumers have voiced concerns about the actual contents of the can. Upon first taste, you might find that the chili leans heavily towards beans, overshadowing the meat and spices that are typically integral to a satisfying chili experience. The texture can be off-putting, with a gelatinous consistency that lacks the heartiness expected from a chili. Some reviewers have described the beef in this chili as resembling a dried-up sheet of ground beef, which is hardly the appetizing treat you would want on a cold day. The overwhelming bean flavor combined with the sparse meat leaves, many craving a more balanced chili experience. Instead of the rich, robust flavors of a well-made chili, you might feel like you're getting a dish that is missing its soul. If you're looking for a satisfying chili, it might be wise to explore other brands or consider making your own. Homemade chili allows you to personalize your ingredients, adding fresh vegetables, quality meats, and your preferred spices. This way, you can create a robust chili that is rich in flavor and texture, far surpassing anything you might find in a can. That is all for today, guys. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content.